Let's dive into today. Today is the final trading day of the year of 2018. It's been such a fun year with so many ups and downs. There has been some great times of trading, some huge rips. If we want to look at some of the biggest rips we've seen, RKDA, that was an absolute massive play where this stock went from $6 all the way up to $68. We had PXS, which was my biggest trade of the year. I made $27,000 in 2 days. Where this stock went on these massive 2 green days right here. We've seen some other huge plays as well with some big time profit. ALT, I was able to make $13,000 on ALT. That was absolutely great. We also had SAEX, which went on that beautiful rip as well. And of course, we had many others. AWSM, AWX. There were a lot of big time plays, and it's been a very fun year. Closing off this year, I just finished off with 1 for 1 on the day. I made $101 profit, and that was early bird this morning, 7 a.m. So total realized gain on the day, $101. I was trading on my small account this morning, didn't trade on my big account, so I just wanted to make a nice quick little profit. Now, what did I make this profit on? I made this profit on SFET. So looking at this really quickly, let me bring this up for you guys. Obviously, where are we at right here? Here we are. So SFET, a lot of different orders I was trying to put in this morning for a lot of different plays. But SFET, where was I in? At 7:05 this morning, I bought 800 shares at the price of $375. So that's what I was in on this play. And then I got out of this play, right here at $390. So I was in right here at $375, out of $390, 800 shares, trading on my small account, and I was able to make a $101 profit. What time did I get out? I got out at the 7:39 and 50 seconds. So I was in on this play for about, 35 minutes. Pretty, decently long trade for me to be in on this play for about 35 minutes. So why did I buy SFET, and why did I buy it so early, right? That's always a good question. Why did I get in on this play at 7 a.m.? Right. So with that being said, let's go over this whole entire thing and bring this back and, make sure that you guys are all set. So SFET, what do we have here? In pre-market this morning, I'm going to switch this back to about a 3-minute time frame. We could see we had this nice little rip right at 7 in the morning. Right at 7 a.m., the stock went from 346 and shot up to 387. Then it had a little bit of a pullback. And then you could see right at this pullback, right at 7:03, that's when I started getting in. Again, we're on a 3-minute time frame, so it was actually at 7:05. I got in at 375. And then I basically sat in the stock for a little bit. I sat in the stock while I was inside this channel this whole entire time. Now, as you can see, it broke out at around 8:30. I got out at 7:50, as you guys know, which is right on, I believe, to do what? This spike, this little pop right here, all the way up towards that 390 mark. And that's when the stock, ran on up, and then it did have a little bit of a pullback, and that's when it actually came back up later on and went on that nice big rip. But why? What's going on with SFET? And we can actually see SFET on the bottom right here right now. It's still a top gainer, up 14%. It's a 573,000 in float. Immediately, seeing a stock that's only 573,000 in float gets traders excited. We know what? The float is the shares offered to the public, and we have a low supply and a high demand. That leads to a very nice rip. It's simple economics, right? When you have a low supply of something, let's say oil, and a very high demand, oil prices go up. And it's the same exact thing in stocks. If we have a very low supply in our float, let's say 350,000, and a very high demand, as let's say all day traders want to attack it, that's when we see very big rips and very big climbs. So immediately I wake up and I see SFET, a low float stock, already gapping up. I'm saying to myself, why? Why is the stock gapping on up? I go over to my news scanner. I check this out, SFET. And what do I see right here? We see SFET comes out with a press release 2:30 in the morning. It received an order from the largest Israeli beverage company for its SDA and SDE solutions, right? So, the CEO is saying this is a strategic order for us. They're a long-term customer. We have great solutions deeply to protect the system. And also, again, if we're just looking at the overall press release, if you guys don't know anything about this, as you guys know, study up in our video library, we have our hot press release list, right? Keywords look for in hot press releases. Receives, right? When a company receives something, they could be receiving an order. They could be receiving money. They could be receiving FDA approval. They could be receiving a grant. They could be receiving a big investment, right? And in this case, obviously, what do we have? We're receiving an order. But that order is from the largest Israeli beverage company. So with that being said, if we're taking an order from the largest company right here, that obviously is going to show a lot of credibility, not only because this is a great big company, but it's because it's working with this little penny stock. When we see another company that's established and credible work with a penny stock, it brings a lot more hype into the penny stock. Why? Because a lot of penny stocks are what? Garbage. A lot of penny stocks could be, someone working out of their shed. It means nothing. So if we see an actual company working with a little penny stock, what does it mean? It shows a lot of credibility, and it brings a lot of credibility into this play. So SFET, again, I hopped in on this play at 7:05. I got out at 7:50 because we were inside this channel, and I wasn't sure if the stock was going to break out of the channel. I know that the stock was going back and forth between what areas? 375, 390, 375, 390, 375, 390, 375, 390, and then it broke out. But I wasn't sure if it was going to break on out. It's New Year's Eve, right? We have lighter volume. We have less press releases. Are we going to break out of 390, or is that going to be it? So I wanted to lock in my profit. But with that being said, why did I get in so early? Because as I said, guys, it's New Year's Eve. The most activity is going to be at the start of the day, right? The most activity is going to be at the start of the day. And that's why I brought up in our morning newsletter today, right? I always want to keep you guys updated. And again, our morning newsletter is 100% free. If you guys are not part of our morning newsletter, make sure you guys email dekmartrades@gmail.com, and we'll be more than happy to add you guys in on that. So again, in our morning newsletter, we wanted to put over for you guys right here. Happy New Year's Eve. Welcome back to Dekmar Trades. I'm very excited to be working with you guys today. It is New Year's Eve, so there are a few things you need to be aware of. One, press releases are going to be low. There will only be a few press releases today, as companies are all going to wait for their big time drop of news at the start of 2019. Not too many press releases are going to come out on the last day of the year, right? Many companies and press releases, they are going to do what? They are going to wait till 2019 and kick off their company on a strong note. They're not going to drop it on the last day of the year. Number two, volume may be lighter, as most people will not be trading today because it's a holiday. Some people have holiday parties to go to or set up for. They may spend time with their family or friends, or they go and travel, right? So again, like last week, it was Christmas Eve. I wasn't here last week because I was with my family. So some people could be doing that for New Year's Eve, right? And the fact that it lands on a Monday, guess what? Traders are like, hey, I just have a 4-day weekend now. I'm not going to go on New Year's Eve. I'll pick things back up on Wednesday because the stock market's closed tomorrow, right? So some traders may not want to get involved with the markets because it's a Monday and the stock market's closed. That sounds like a 4-day weekend for a lot of traders. So again, for these reasons, we're only trading in the morning. Treat today as if it's a Friday. So obviously that's very important. So when I woke up this morning, I said to myself, hey, if I'm going to hop in on a play, I want to do it early. I want to hop in on one of these plays early if I'm going to, be attacking and going after it. So what do we have? SFET. I woke up, low float stock. I woke up on SFET. I saw that I had news. I woke up. I know it was very early in the day. And then I said to myself, you know what? This is when I want to start attacking it. Got in on this play. Now, I was hoping that the stock could continue to move on up, very early in the morning. Now, it did, move on up just a little bit later on in the morning. But with that being said, I was already out of this play, but I was able to make some nice profit. But as always, I always want to show you guys my P&L so you guys can see, again, in at 705, out at 739, in on 800 shares, out at 800 shares, and at the same time, I was able to make a total of $101. That's from my smaller account on eTrade.com. So again, if you're like, oh, why wasn't your profit, $20,000? It was because, again, I'm on my very small account at this time. Now, with that being said, what else is going on? Well, I do want to talk about CCCL right now, just because CCCL is starting to get a nice little rip. This play has been climbing throughout the whole entire day. It's up 114%. But with that being said, there's not much reasoning behind this, right? I was looking to short this play, but if I type in on CCCL, I could go to CCCL. Let's just put 1,000 shares. And if I want to, let's go, 185, and I want to click short, boom, this little box comes up and says, your short order cannot be processed. We're unable to borrow shares at this time. So we can't, I can't even short CCCL. But, what's going on with CCL? What's even going on with this play right now? This play at this moment, well, let's check our reasoning. CCL, what's the big news? Oh, wait a minute, there is no big news. All right, well, what's the big filing? Wait a minute, there is no big filing. All right, so there's nothing, no news or no filing there. There's no sort of real credibility. So what's the reasoning? The only reason I can think of is, hey, it's a low float stock at 3 million in float, and maybe that it broke its 13 EMA. Maybe that it broke its 13 EMA right here. That's what's helping it go on a nice run. But I'm not really seeing any sort of other real reason on why this would just start running on up today, why this would randomly start ripping today. The only thing I honestly could think of is 13 EMA, and maybe it's just because it's a low float play, and maybe a group of traders bought it. There could be a group of traders out there that said, "Hey, you want to buy CCL today? Yeah, why not? Try to get some other traders to buy it." Because guess what happens, right? Guess what happens? CCCL. Let's say we start seeing a stock, start breaking its 13 EMA, right? So we start seeing a stock break its 13 EMA, and what do we have? We have the high of the day momentum scanner right here, and it's 9:40 in the morning, let's say, and we see CCL pop up once, twice, 3 times, right? We see it pop up a few times, and then we see it pop up a few more times, and now again, more people start buying into it, and now more people are starting to buy into it, and more people starting to buy into it, and now again, now it's implanted in people's heads as a top gainer, and now more people are starting to go after it, and next thing you know, what's going on? CCCL is now up 136%. People are buying it for what reason? They're buying it because it's moving on up. That's the only reason people are buying it right now. It's not like, oh yeah, great news on CCL. People are buying CCL right now because it's profitable. People are buying CCL right now because it's the only stock right now that is moving up in a very strong manner. People are buying CCL right now because nothing else is going on, right? That's why people are buying it. And sometimes that happens. But guess what's probably going to happen eventually? People are going to look around and say, hey, CCL, great play, man, right? Oh yeah, awesome play. And why are you in on this play? I don't know, because it was moving on up. Yeah, me too. Yeah, all right. I should probably sell soon. Yeah, I should probably sell soon too. All right, well, I'm gonna sell. Okay, well, I'm gonna sell. Yeah, I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna sell. And this whole entire thing is just gonna come right back on down. Stocks are gonna move up a lot, and sometimes they move up from manipulation. Sometimes that manipulation just leads to momentum, and that momentum just shoots on up, and it comes up on the high of the day momentum scanner as people get greedy, and all they want to do is make money, 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 right? So with that being said, it takes on off, but people are going to end up looking around saying, why is the stock even up? And that's where a lot of people are going to start getting crushed. So make sure you guys understand that. It's been a nice play so far. It's got a nice move. It's starting to break through its moving averages, which is actually giving it some credibility. But the reason it's running right now, I personally do not see anything. And if there is something, definitely post it. But you're looking through my scanners and such, I'm not seeing anything at this time. Now, what was another great play of today? Another great play of today was VTVT, right? VTVT. This was one that a lot of traders were looking at, and this one had a great, morning spike in pre-market. This was a great pre-market move. You even try to get on a nice, move at the start of the day today, but right now it is looking a little bit weak. But at the same time, it still has potential, right? VTVT up 36%. Why was this one on our watch list? Why was this one even, worth our time? So with VTVT, the reason this one was worth our time today is because this is what a previous top gainer from Friday. And as we know, guys, we have been seeing so many continuation breakouts, right? No sort of news, right? But they did have a filing. So when we look at this, our filing that came out was December 28th, and we see that Forbes, we all know Forbes. Forbes is up to purchase 815,000 shares of common stock at the price of 184. Just like we talked about with the other press release on SFET, Forbes is a company that everyone knows of. Forbes is something that we can understand. Forbes is a credible company. And if they're purchasing shares of VTVT, people are going to say, wow, Forbes is purchasing shares of VTVT. I want to purchase shares of VTVT, right? If that good company believes in it and they're buying, 800,000 shares on a stock at $1.82, hey, I don't mind buying VTVT at, $1.90 or $2. And again, on Friday, it opened up at, 140. So you could have got in before Forbes. But that's why the stock has been able to continue to move on up. Now, why did the stock get stuck at 350? It's a pretty easy answer right here. Why does the stock get stuck at 345, 350? Well, look on Friday. That's right next to the high. Old chart resistance, right? Old resistance line right here. So as the stock came up to its previous high, that's where it started dumping on off. Today came up to the previous high. That's where it started dumping on off, right? So VTVT, again, a pretty easy area to understand that's the high. And that's what I was talking about throughout the whole entire day. 350 is most likely where the stock's going to end up being in high. And that's right now, as you can see, the stock start coming back on down. So look at all the selling moving in on VTVT right now. All coming up to 350. Now, again, sellers are starting to take over. Look at this thing start going red. Now below $3, $2.93 on the bids. It's starting to get a lot more weaker, right? So the two top plays this morning were SFET, right? That's where a lot of trades were looking. Unfortunately, this one dumped on off. That was my trade in pre-market, and that's why I locked in that gain. And then the other one was VTVT, which had a lot of the hype. And again, a lot of the hype came through on pre-market because that had a beautiful spike right there. But what is the best play at the moment? The best play is not CATV. CATV, again, it's up 862%, but not really. It had a reverse stock split. That's why it says that. The best play so far right now is CCCL. And again, the crazy thing about it is CCL is the one with no credibility. CCL is just the one that's kind of the manipulated pump right now. This thing has not, had any sort of, dump back down yet, right? So, when we're seeing this right here, CCCL, we're going to see some selling soon. We're going to see some pullback soon. It's the final day of 2018. Some traders are definitely looking to just be like, hey, you know what? Let's, try to get it here maybe one more time, and then, and then we'll sell it off if it doesn't work, right? So, we'll see this thing crash. We'll probably see this thing come back on down soon. And I'm not trying to be negative if you're in on it on the long side. I'm just trying to be more honest. I'm trying to help you guys out. Hey, if you guys are long on CCCL and you're saying, Dek, I'm for you. I hope it goes all the way up to $6 if you guys are in on it. But at the same time, I want to be real. I don't want to be a fantasy trader. I want to be realistic. And even if it's something you guys don't want to hear, I would still rather tell you, right? Sometimes I have to be the parent, the mom, the dad of the group. And be like, hey, you know what, guys? CCL, be careful on it. And you're like, oh, but Dek, why? I want to trade it. And it's like, well, I don't think it's a smart idea. You don't know anything. You never understand me. I'm going to my room, right? So again, you can do whatever you want. It's just I just want to be open and honest with you, of course. So right here, those are kind of our top plays. I wanted to go over every single one of them. If you have any further questions for me, you can definitely ask me. 2018 is coming up to an end, and I'm very excited to see 2019. As you guys know, all of 2019 will be streaming on tradecaster.com every single day. Going back to normal monthly memberships, we've been free every single day, and I hope to see every single one of you guys over on Tradecaster, of course. So you guys are also in your monthly membership. You guys are going to have the live stream, access to all the video lessons in the video library. You don't have to pay for any of those, and anything else, just hit me up. Of course, I want to give you everything you guys need. So live stream, commentary, daily lessons, daily recaps, video library access, and yeah, you guys will be all set. So definitely looking forward to it. Awesome job. And with that being said, happy 2018. I'll see you guys in 2019. Awesome job.